Have you, and thank you. Many of you, of course, have to get on with your daily lives in business, etc. But Bernhard's going to be here for questions and answers up here at the podium for those of you that have got time and want to come up and chat with him. I think there's going to be also a... very good. Okay. We have 5 minutes left. Who's got a question that they'd like to pose to Bernhard?
Bernhard, as we watch people go through all the ridicules and mistakes on the field, off the field, how did you manage that?
That's a very good question. There's obviously some of that. People are watching us all the time. Our kids are watching us, and so are my colleagues and the media and other people. And it's not easy to live a so-called perfect life. I know that's why I needed Jesus, because I'm a sinner. Sometimes I am a hypocrite, but that's why I needed a Savior. If I wasn't doing any of that, I wouldn't need him, that kind of thing. So I'm at times ridiculed. Sometimes I win a tournament and I give thanks to God for the gifts and talents He's given me to play this game so well. And I've heard comments from a couple of my colleagues saying, it's nothing to do with God, you stupid idiot, or whatever. It's all you. And I know it's not, but that's okay. I can't force my beliefs on anyone. But there's also other times, when you hang out with other believers, they're like-minded, and you just have this special bond. It's almost like you've known these people for years, and you just met them. So there's the good and the bad, and that's quite all right. God or Jesus said in the Bible, we're not from this world. This is not our home. Heaven is our home. So this is just a short time. We think it's a long time, but in lieu of eternity, it's a very short, brief moment. We're here, and we're just preparing for eternity. Any other questions? Yes, please. Yeah. I'm not sure if that has changed a great deal. Obviously, especially since Tiger came on the scene, the money has gone way up there where other sports had been before. I think golf was lacking greatly. 20 years ago, we were way behind tennis, baseball, basketball, football, whatever you want to call it. There was not a whole lot. I remember winning the European Tour's money list in 1980, somewhere in the 80s, and I won 80,000 pounds. You can win 80, and I won 2 tournaments, had 5 seconds, and numerous top tens. So over a whole year, I won 80,000 pounds. You can win 80,000 pounds finishing 5th in 1 week now. It's just, it's hard to compare. But I don't think the attitude has changed a great deal. What might have changed somewhat is the guys are a little bit more spoiled. Nowadays, the younger guys don't know what we went through. When I started, there were no courtesy cars. I was going by train, by bus, I was too young to rent a car. So things were different. There were no range balls. They had these yellow 60 compression range balls. So I brought my own shag bag. So here I come on a train with my golf bag on the shoulder, my suitcase in the other hand, and a shag bag somewhere, and another carry-on, looking like an idiot going, traveling in foreign countries. We, as I said, we didn't have Titleist, brand new Titleist or whatever on the range, so we had 25 caddies running up and down the range out there, and we're shooting at them. I would empty my bucket, and I say, okay, go out there, we start at 100 yards. I was aiming at him, go to 200 yards and aiming at him. And these poor guys were dodging balls left and right. things were very different, years ago. So they have improved mostly for the good, but some of these kids are spoiled and they complain about stuff they should never complain about. Sorry? Oh, that's a long story. You have time? Question was, how did I handle the yips? Well, I had the yips 4 times, not just once. I shared the one story with you when I first had it in '76, and it seemed like they kind of came back every 7 years, sort of thing, more or less. It was very difficult, to tell you the truth, because if you can't putt, you're not going to be out there. And I had moments when I would, hit 17 greens in regulation, and I'd be 4 over par. So I would make like 36 long shots and 42 putts or something like that. Just, totally wacko. And it doesn't make a lot of sense, because an 8-year-old can make a 3-foot putt, or an 80-year-old can do the same thing. It doesn't take a lot of technique or whatever to make a 3-foot putt, but that was the toughest, anywhere from 2 to 5 feet was difficult. I had more chance making a 30-footer than a 3-footer kind of thing. So how did I handle it? Once I was a believer, there's a lot of prayer and some encouragement. There was one time in 1989 when I had it the 3rd time. I was literally on my knees, and I said to God, I give this up. If you have other plans for me, if you want me to do whatever it is, just tell me, and I'm giving up golf, which is extremely difficult for someone like me, because I've lived my whole life for golf. I never did anything else but play golf. So he had to basically bring me to my knees to take golf off that pedestal and make it a little bit less important and put him up there. But what also helped is some grip changes. I used to start off with a regular grip like most people do, and then I went to cross-handed. Then I went to what I call split cross-handed, where everybody kind of was laughing at me and thinking, what the heck is he doing? But I actually won my 2nd Masters that way on maybe the most difficult greens you ever putt on at Augusta. And 1997, when I had the last, 97, it's 15 years ago now. When I had the last problem with the yips, so far I went to long putter. And just about a year before that, Sam Torrance said, you should go to the long putter. And I said, well, yeah, I'm putting okay. I was putting this way. I'm not too bad, but let me try yours. So he gave me his putter on the putting green, and I said, so what do I need to watch? And he said, well, make sure you hold it still here, and you do this and you do that. So I hit a couple, about 10 balls, and the putter felt like a snake. It was going like all over the place. I'm going to take this thing back. I will never use the long putter. Don't ever let me try it again. And a year later, I was using it, and I've been using it for 15 years. So any other questions? Yes. I have not. I've written him a letter about a year ago at the Masters, because I see him at the Past Champions dinner, and when he had all the problems going on and in his life. So I wrote him a letter, and I said I would love to talk to him. And I didn't mention specifically my belief. I just said I'd love to talk to you and share some stuff that I've learned over the years, and never got a response. Any other questions? Yes. How we? Well, you find these people, like I see them on the tour. We have every Wednesday night on the regular tour, we have fellowship or Bible study. So the guys who are like-minded come and spend an hour together, and we learn more about the Bible. We sometimes pray for each other or even hold each other accountable. On the Champions Tour, where I spend most of my time now, we do it on Friday nights, and we have a tremendous turnout. We get 60 to 100 people coming just about every Friday. So there's a lot of people out there who believe in God or specifically in Jesus Christ being our Savior. Or you go to a church and that preaches the gospel. You find people there and you make friends. And you find 2 or 3, even one man that you can trust, and you just spend time with him. That would be my suggestion. Any other questions? All
I
right.
think,
Okay.
thanks.